I'll give you my view on it and then shut up because I think you probably know more about this than me. We keep building new high schools because we're in a growing area, growing population, and that's fine. But we also have limited space in the VoTech programs. We have limited stuff in the science, in the Academy of Science as well, right? And so maybe some of these things are getting very selective. But my perception is that we have a lot of kids who would benefit from some of those trade and craft VoTech, the sort of the traditional VoTech programs, right? Who either aren't getting in or who don't have the opportunity because we don't have enough space. And I've been saying this probably since I was here, that maybe one year we should skip building a new high school or build the building, but maybe we should just have like another dedicated VoTech school because we don't have the space for it, and we're maybe not putting enough kids. I don't want to say putting them in the programs. Maybe we're not presenting that option consistently enough to kids who would benefit from it. I think we have a lot of kids where we march everyone through with the idea everybody's got to go to college. And my personal view is everyone should have the opportunity if they want, but that's probably not the right thing for everybody. And so I would love if the next time they say we're expanding, we need a new school, if it was just the VoTech school. Because that would lighten the population in all the other buildings. Every other day you got all these kids that go there, which means that your home school's less crowded and you have kids doing these things that they want that are the applied program. It's all project-based learning, which we're pushing anyway. Am I oversimplifying that? Like as a guy you're sort of in the bridge, right? Like you're
right.
I wish we did more of it.
I really probably agree 100% with that entire statement. They've actually, one way that they have maybe fixed the amount of students that can go to the VoTech Center is some of the programs they've limited to 1 year. It's a 1 year program now. Mm-hmm. In the past, it always was junior and senior year.
Right.
So now a bunch of the programs, they've gone to 1 year. So essentially they double the number of kids that have an experience over there.
Yeah, but that's, more kids going is good, but if more kids are getting less, is that good?
I agree. I think there's a couple of issues with making that a larger program. Number one, just being staff. It's hard to find people from the trades, good people from the trades, who are then teachers also.
Right.
And a lot of the people that they have over at Monroe right now are fantastic. I don't know all of the teachers, but all of the ones I know, their programs are incredible.
Yeah.
And part of the thing I think might be a problem, is they've built those programs, and when you go to that program, you know what you're getting.
Right.
And if you add another teacher, it's similar,
right,
but it might not be that same program. And a couple of the trades or areas over there every year struggle to fill their roles, but most of them, like you said, are turning people away.
Yeah.
I have the same thing that you. We have the same number of programs and the same number of seats. Every one of those teachers can only teach 40 kids.
Right.
State law says, federal law actually says, in a lab-based class, you can only have 20 students.
Right.
In those, you have 40 seats for each one of those programs. We're now at 17, I think, high schools, or we're building 17.
Yeah, I think we're at 70. We're about to be at 17, something like that.
Whatever.
Yeah. I think it was like 11 or 12 when I started.
Right.
It might have even been less than that, yeah.
When it was just, Loudoun County, Loudoun Valley, and Broad Run, having 40 seats over there was
all you needed.
Huge.
Yeah.
But, every year they build another school, you are reducing the opportunity for other kids in the county to go.
Yeah.
Everything that they do over there in the vocational center is a top-notch program and is really beneficial to those students.
Right.
And I don't understand how you can add more students to our overall population every year and not think that the same percentage of them are going to go or want to go into that vocational school.
Well, as it gets more selective, like, and I know they do balance for this. All right, so I don't want to make this sound like this. It's being done poorly because one, I don't think that's true, and two, I don't know enough to say in detail. But I know that parts of that application come back to your performance in school and sometimes attendance. And if you're a kid who is capable of doing stuff and you just really don't like sitting through your English and math class, or you're not behaving well because you're not, like, that setting isn't great for you, maybe you don't show up enough or the grades slip a little bit, and that while that doesn't automatically eliminate them from going, it makes it a lot harder in the application process.
Right.
Like the kids who maybe need it the most get eliminated because they need it the most. Like, it's almost counterintuitive.
One of the good things is it's not like a GPA-based application, and only, like the kid who's got a 95 gets in over the kid who's got a 93.
Like, I don't think they're doing it just that. I'm not saying it's bad. But
if you're failing 5 classes because you hate school, you're less likely to get in over there, and you might excel in that environment. I have a lot of students who come to my room. I was the student who took shop so he could get through English class because I had zero desire to go to English class. But if I could go, cut wood or grind metal, or, we had auto mechanics, we had everything at my high school. I could go do that for an hour. I could make it through English class because, by the time I was a senior, I was getting back in the shop again, for another class, or I was going to skip my second science class for the day and go to the shop, something like that. So
my nephew who I referenced earlier with the car stuff, like he's really smart, right? I mean, he tested really smart early on, and then was not doing well in some classes, and not based on intelligence, just like some family stuff and whatever. He got into the carpentry program at the VoTech school in Pennsylvania where I grew up. And it's actually one big school. They might have changed it now, but it was one school that was actually shared by parts of 2 counties, 5 high schools, 5 districts fed in. And so it's a huge building. They shared it. So he was there, I think they did the same way, every other day kind of deal or something like that. It was a shared program. And he was getting D's and C's in the subject area, the traditional content classes. And he had straight A's in everything carpentry. He was the carpentry student of the year. He finished all these certifications. They gave him every award that related to anything he could have done there. And if it wasn't for that program, he wouldn't have graduated from high school.
I find most of the time when we have a parent-teacher conferences and all of that, and the parent comes to me, or we're in a big room, and all the teachers are the student doesn't do their work, they're failing, they're, disruptive, they're this and that. And I'm sitting quietly and I'm like, all right, well, I hate to tell you this, but your child is a model student in my class,
Right.
And because they get to get up and walk around, I'm playing music,